What's going on, everybody? Happy New Year's Eve. If you're watching, pound that like button, subscribe, become a member of the Bailey Price Media Army today. We got a great show planned for you. We're live on this New Year's Eve, and we got my main man, Coach Leroy Frederick, joining the show. We're going to discuss the college football playoff here. This is exactly what we've been waiting for the whole year, college football playoff time. We got a massive matchup today as the Canes take on Ohio State, and I don't know. I think Ohio State fans might be sour after this one tonight. So if you guys are watching, pound the like button. Mike Bundy, Jacob, what up? All you guys in the chat, I appreciate you guys tuning in. This is about to be a good show today as we cap off 2025. We got a lot planned going into 2026. Matt McChesney and I got a lot planned, especially headed into this spring. So stay tuned for that. On this channel, we're going full go. I'll have a full new show going into 2026, new co-host. And so much planned. I can't wait to break it down with you guys and whatnot. I appreciate all the support. Been kind of extremely busy working JB, Mass, Salisbury, whatnot, but I can't wait to get this show rolling going into 2026. And I really wanted to come on here and cap off the year correctly. So if you guys are watching, pound the like button. The super chat button is open. Without further ado, let's go ahead and bring in our special guest, main man, Coach Leroy Frederick, on this fine Wednesday, New Year's Eve. Coach Fred, how you doing, my man?
Man, I'm good, B. How about yourself today, baby?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. I'm ready for this football. I'm supposed to go down this afternoon here, so it's about to be good.
I like the aesthetics.
Yeah,
I like all the ecstatics in the
last
background.
Last day I'm here. Don't ignore the bull. I didn't design this, but I'm glad you like it, Coach. It's my mother's office, so shout out to my mom. But let's dive into college football playoff. Miami takes on Ohio State today. And Coach Fred, this is going to be a hell of a matchup here. I'm interested to see really the battle in the trenches. Miami, Ohio State, I'm interested to see how Carson Beck responds to that Matt Patricia defense in Ohio State. What are your expectations for this game tonight? And let's just start there.
Man, my expectations is a high-scoring ball game is what I expect. Is that what we get? I don't know, but I'm expecting a high-scoring ball game. And, I'm kind of excited about it. Just want to see how it goes.
Yeah. What do you expect to see from Carson Beck in this game? He's got a tough task ahead of him with the Matt Patricia-led defense. I think they're going to really dial up some stuff and get after him. What do you expect to see from Carson Beck in this game?
I expect Miami to protect him, not put him in those tough situations. I would think that Miami would try to get the run game going to protect him. But, if he is who they say he is, who they gave $6 million to, here's his chance to prove that. You know what I mean? So I expect them to kind of try to lean on the run game early, get him in some play action type situations. But if not, they got to cut it loose. They gave him a lot of money, right? So let's see what he can do.
I'm gonna be honest. I got to see how the run game looks with Fletcher. I think he was a big part, obviously a big part of their win last week, and they really got to get him going. Obviously, his mom's gonna be driving this one. With that said, I don't know. I think it could be a lower scoring game. The more I think about it, I think it could be a defensive game. I'm really interested to see how Carson Beck responds. But if I'm being honest, I think they're gonna really lean on the run game going into this game. But, Coach, it is transfer portal season's upon us here, and let's dive into it. I wanted to kind of dive into that, and, oh, boy, the window opens on the second here. Not just Colorado, several teams, Iowa State, North Texas, a lot of these teams have seen a mass exodus of players. With that said, Coach, a significant player that entered the transfer portal, Deuce Knight, Auburn, true freshman, 5-star quarterback, lefty, entered the transfer portal, Coach, and this is less than a year after. He wanted Cam Newton's number. Cam Newton came out and said this when asked about that.
Kenny Rocket, has he reached out to you? Has he reached out?
Deshaun showed me the text. It's a fuck no for me.
Okay.
And less than a year later, he transfers. Coach, what do you got to say about this? What's your reaction to this? This is just the nature of the beast, I suppose. But what do you have to say as a coach yourself?
Man, I hate it. I know you say it's the nature of the beast, Bailey, but I hate it. It's what we've made this thing. We've turned it into this, and it makes no sense, Bailey, because even in even in professional football, professional sports, right? There's nobody that's a free agent every year. And
Yeah.
we've allowed this to become a free agent free for all every year, every 6 months. A kid can leave and go somewhere. And, I hate it, but I get it. It is what it is at this point. But, at some point, somebody's got to put the brakes on and say, hey, man, you're at Auburn, man. Where else are you going? Okay, cool. Uh, LSU. Okay, but you're leaving one lake uh, with 50 fish in it to go to another lake that has 51 fish in it. So you're basically trading, every year. I hate it, and I can only imagine what it's going to be like on the second with the uh, first and foremost. I like to thank God. Those posts come on the
Yeah.
second. I can't imagine how that's going to be, Bailey. Imagine how many are holding it for that day that we haven't seen. Right now, we're just seeing guys saying, "I'm going in." On the second, we're going to see guys that, "Hey, I'm in." So man, it's going to be crazy on the second.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting looking at this one. So the Golish takes over as head coach at Auburn, coming up from South Florida. I'm just kind of monitoring his players who's leaving South Florida. Byron Brown, quarterback, big
Quarterback.
quarterback, trucking, running over people. I think he's a really good player. He entered the portal as well. I expect Auburn is to watch with him. He's a stud of a player, so I don't know. Maybe Deuce didn't mesh well with Golish. Maybe Golish is bringing in Byron Brown, and that's that. But nonetheless, we saw Deuce last season in brief fashion. But he is athletic, lefty, and he can certainly run, get it done both with his arm and his legs. Coach, any suitors that you'd expect to try and land him? I expect another SEC school probably.
Yeah, I see him staying in that type of environment, so to speak. The Texas A&M kid is young. Arch Manning's going back to Texas. Uh, Texas Tech is one of those players out there with a lot of money. But I expect to see him stay in the SEC. But you never know with this thing, man. It's to the highest bidder.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to sticking on the transfer portal. I expect Deuce to stick in the SEC, but we'll monitor this. I think this is in response to potentially Byron Brown going to Auburn. I don't know. I thought he played really well in Golsh's offense, so I can see the writing on the wall here potentially. But sticking on the transfer portal, something that happened. I wanted to ask you about this kid, Grant Segrin. He's transferring from Oklahoma State, but then he's visiting Oklahoma State. But is that so? That doesn't make any fucking sense. He's going to Auburn, right? But he's going back to Oklahoma State. So you leave Stillwater. Make this make sense, Coach. What the fuck?
This was to me, this is a money grab, Bailey. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
highest bidder. I can go. I don't want to go, but people are offering me money. Are you going to be able to get anywhere close to these offers? I want to stay, but are you going to be able to get close to any of these offers? And just to make sure you know that I'm serious, I'm going to take these visits and go see this stuff, blah, 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 which you can't do at this point. So all that had to be on his own dime because it's not legal. But again, it makes absolutely no sense, man. When you look at it, like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I don't know. This is again nature of the beast. This is what the NCAA wanted. That's all I can say at this point. Who is to blame? If they're gonna first off, the schools are gonna allow this. If Oklahoma State and guy who's the coach Morris coming from North Texas is cool with that, then so be it. I suppose it's just odd to me that why wouldn't you just? I mean, you've been there. Why wouldn't you just visit there first? Why are you going to Auburn, then going back to Stillwater, and then you go to Northwestern and Chip Kelly? They just hired Chip Kelly, coach. Do you have any take on the? So actually, I want to ask you that Northwestern hires Chip Kelly. What are your thoughts?
I don't know how that's going to work, B. But again, it's it's crazy to think how some of the names continue to get uh I don't want to say recycled, but continue to get jobs. You know what I mean? It's crazy how that goes. Um, And this is one of those names that just continues to get those jobs. So we'll see. I didn't see the fit, but what do I know?
It was just out of left field to me. I saw him interview for Georgia Tech, and I was like, okay, he's going back into college now. That's interesting. I would expected him to take a head coaching job. Now he's going to take OC job at Northwestern. I wasn't on my bingo card, Coach Fred, and to say the least. We lost Coach Fred for a sec. I'll bring him back in. You got you, Coach? You hear me?
Big.
Yeah, you hear me? All right, we good. No, but yeah, like I said, Chip Kelly going to Northwestern, not on my bingo card to say the least. But Coach, I wanted to ask you, let's go back into the NFL, and this is an interesting report. I haven't seen really too many people cover this. But let's start with this. So the Baltimore Sun, Lamar Jackson, and apparently, hold on, let's wait till Coach Fred gets back in because I think he's having some connection issues. But I'm going to dive into this Baltimore Sun Lamar Jackson report because this is about to get real interesting. I haven't seen too many people talk about this, but I'll dive into it here, and then we'll bring in Coach Fred in a sec. So let's dive into it. Apparently, the Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens are at a crossroads, with Lamar expected to make $74.5 million in 26 and 27, making him the highest paid signal call in the league. And Mike Preston's questioning whether they should get rid of him or not, saying the Ravens should look at possible trades, which would net them 2 or 3 first-round picks. And he said specifically, as we bring in Coach Leroy Frederick, he said specifically that Lamar Jackson would love to play for the Miami Dolphins, Coach Fred. Going back to Lamar Jackson here, Coach Fred, the Baltimore Sun put out a report about Lamar and basically saying Ravens and Lamar at a crossroads because of his contract, $74.5 million. And also, I've seen a lot of people talk about how the Ravens look better with Tyler Huntley than Lamar, how they're leaving in Derrick Henry, and how that seems to be leading to success. That's been the question this week. But Mike Preston, the Baltimore Sun, says Jackson would love to play in Miami, where quarterback Tua Tagovailoa is no longer the starter, possibly Las Vegas, where Brady, partial owner of the Raiders, has shown fondness for him. Baltimore would also draft a young quarterback in the early rounds. Coach, what's your reaction to seeing all this? Do you any possibility of this? What are your expectations?
No. I don't see this. He's a Florida guy, South Florida guy. But I can't see Baltimore coming off of this. This makes no sense. Huntley looked good last week. We'll see what happens this week. But are you really, really, really willing to get rid of your franchise guy? I just don't see that be to Miami. I don't see that. I don't see that.
Well, do you think there's any truth to the fact that there's possible that they're at a crossroads? There's possible discourse back and forth between Lamar and the Ravens?
I can see the contract being a deal. If you remember now, he didn't have an agent. He kind of did his own little deal coming out. So now we're probably to the end of that. So now the negotiations have started. I can see it being a deal where he may not be happy with the numbers that they're coming at him with, but to say that they're just going to blow it all up, because essentially that's what it would be, right? That would be blowing it up, right?
Yeah, essentially. And that would get real interesting. What does that mean for Harbaugh, et cetera? But part of this, Coach, this is a real interesting report. So the part of this claiming Lamar Jackson stays up late playing video games, falling asleep in meetings. I'll read the actual quote. The breakdown of an NFL player's body is natural, but Jackson could help himself. He doesn't need to be up late at night playing video games or falling asleep in team meetings. He wrote after the quarterback's multiple injuries this season. He needs to train more around the castle instead of only attending mandatory mini camps where he disappears after one day. That's an interesting tidbit there, Coach.
That's very interesting. Maybe there is fire because all of this smoke, maybe there is fire. But I can't see your your leader, your team leader, your guy, your centerpiece, going about it this way. Did we not all learn from the Kyler Murray type situation? I just can't see Lamar moving this way. But I guess if there is smoke there, I guess there's some type of fire, huh?
I'm interested to see how Week 18 plays out. Let me just ask you about that. Ravens Steelers, who you got, Coach?
Man, I got the Ravens. If they bring back the same game plan, regardless of who's playing quarterback, they've got to bring back the same game
Do you
plan.
see that happening? Because I don't.
They've got to bring back the same game plan.
Giving Derek 30 carries. I mean,
you like the Steelers without DK? I mean, they don't have a deep.
Let me say this. Who do you think is going to play quarterback? Because if they start Huntley, I'm taking the Steelers straight up. I think the defense line is going to get after him.
If they start Huntley again, that brings back the same game plan, and now you ride Derrick Henry until the wheels fall off, and you play action like you did last week, and then by the time he gets to 20 carries, nobody over there on the black and gold is going to want to tackle him. It's going to be nice and cold. His type of game. So if Huntley starts, that's the best case scenario for the Ravens.
Boy, I completely disagree. They better start fucking Lamar. Or they're not making the playoffs, in my opinion. You're gonna sit Lamar in a make. What? Are we kidding me? Like, shots at Tyler Huntley. He's been playing well for Baltimore, but are we serious? I just don't understand how, if Lamar is healthy enough to play, I get he's dealing with the back injury and whatnot. If he's healthy enough to play for,
I'm with you. If he's healthy enough to play, they got to go.
You're paying him too. How much? What the fuck? Why would he play?
They got to play. If he can play, he's got to play. But if he's not 100%, I think you have to go with Huntley and just bring that same game plan back. Keep him safe. Hey, just put it in 22's hands and go from there. To me, that is your safest bet if Lamar Jackson is not 100%.
I don't know. Well, how many games did Brett Favre or Brady or Mahomes even play when they weren't 100%? Like, are you serious? What does that say about Lamar?
Well, obviously, last week it was not anywhere near 100% for him to play, so he didn't play. So that tells me right now that this thing may be a little more serious than what they're saying. So if we are at that point again, I don't see him doing anything different.
They're saying Lamar is returning to practice today, so that's some good news. That doesn't really give much of an update on his status for the game, but that's a good sign he's practicing on Wednesday. I think if Lamar plays, that's going to be a real tough game for the Steelers. But it's tough for me not to take the Steelers in that game at home. Like, that bounce back for the Steelers. I lean Pittsburgh in that one, but if Tyler Huntley plays for the Ravens, I definitely lean Steelers. Are you kidding me? How are you going to not play? Like, that's something I can't really fathom. Something else I can't fathom, Coach Fred, is this. Saying a report came out from ESPN saying Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel could be a name to watch for the Browns head coaching position if both become available in the offseason. Oh, no.
If we learn one thing, Bailey, Mike McDaniel is not going anywhere cold.
That's what I'm saying. What the fuck? He's like, there's no way. Oh, Lord, have mercy. I mean, he's coached a lot of different places, I will say, but I don't. No. Really, Cleveland?
No.
Really, Cleveland?
I can't see that one, B.
That's a Cleveland. Oh, golly. That's a Cleveland move if I've ever seen it, man. That's a coach.
I can't see that one.
That is a Cleveland Browns move if I've ever seen it. Oh my gosh. So in all seriousness, no, though, do you think Stefanski's out at the end of the year?
I gotta believe so. There's just too much going on there for it not to be a complete overhaul. From the draft to the leakage of all the information that's coming out every other day. And it all starts at the top, right? So I've got to believe that all of this has been done in a move to where the front office is going to, as soon as that clock strikes 0 on that last ball game Sunday, that'll be it for him. I don't see how he comes back. After all of this, I just don't see how he comes back.
Now, possible replacements. We've discussed this in the past. Where are you at with that now? We talked about Cliff Kingsbury, Joe Brady, McCarthy potentially, which I'm not too opposed to actually, but something tells me he might end up Nashville. What potential replacements in Cleveland if Stefanski goes? And is McDaniels one of them in your eyes if he goes to Miami? Because something tells me Quinn Ewers might save his job somehow.
I don't think McDaniels is a legitimate option. I like the Joe Brady. Now I don't know if Joe would take that because I mean, let's just be honest. It's it's probably about that much from being a real dumpster fire over there. But I like the former Giants coach. Somebody that will come in and be stern within the organization. But then that's the other question though, B. How much?
Ooh.
Yeah, how
Ooh,
much?
I like that.
How much are they going to allow a coach to be involved in the whole thing? You know what I mean? So I think that would be part of the search with the names, the people that would come in. Are you allowing me to have total control or just some control? So I think that has a lot to do with it. That will
What
have a lot
about
to do with it.
I like that. What about Brian Flores?
I don't know if he would take that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, I know everybody you want when you want to be a head coach, you take what comes your way, but I just think he can get better. You know what I mean?
That's fair. That's fair. Oh man. Well, I I don't think Mike McDaniel's out. Something tells me that Ewers is going to save his job, and I don't think he's in as tough a spot as other coaches have been this season. But this would be a Cleveland Browns ass move is to hire McDaniel's, and then I would really be like, oh, I don't know if I'd want. Would you want Shador out of there at that point? I'm like, golly. But I mean, he's McDaniel's offense. I mean, I'm not gonna say Shador couldn't thrive in it. Shit, Tua looked pretty good for a season or two.
That would be must. I mean, I don't want to say must see TV, but that would be completely down their alley and what they've done this whole year, trying to keep the media circus going. Bailey, I think we've talked about this before. The stuff that they've done, you can't tell me it wasn't media driven. You can't tell me it didn't have anything to do with keeping all eyes here for whatever reason. Because some of that stuff, man, if you mixed up play cards, Bailey, I'm not telling anybody outside of the building that. You know what I mean? Because that makes us look like idiots at that point. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. You gotta understand. You got Shador and everything. Bucky's there. There's a lot of eyes on Cleveland, more eyes than ever been before. I want to go some questions in the chat. Mike Bundy saying, "Who's getting the Giants job? McCarthy." That's one where I'd say maybe Brian Flores. No,
I can see that one.
That's one where I'd say, hey, he can go. Like they got some dudes on that defense now,
and he's a defensive guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he would definitely bring in game plans that would protect Jackson Dart. In that type of conference, I think he'd thrive just because. So yeah, I'd definitely go with that one.
I agree. What about McCarthy? I see him. My prediction: he's going to take over the Titans and Cam Ward, and they're going to. I mean, he's got $100 million in like salary cap he's going to spend this offseason. He can spend this offseason. I think he's got a lot to work with if he takes over there. But what are your thoughts on Mike McCarthy's future?
I think that would be a great fit because, like you said, they have a second-year quarterback that's that I think it could be a real centerpiece for them. They have the defense. I think that D tackle that they have is ripping it up 2 years in a row there.
Yeah.
And I think it's got to get a couple
Devontae.
pieces in the secondary, and I think that'd be a great fit.
Yeah, and talking about T'Vondre Sweat, and they got obviously Jeffrey Simmons there, who's a monster. They got to keep him there.
Got to find a way to keep him there.
They got to get some secondary help desperately. But John Lelich says, any chance we see Gruden back in the NFL? Yeah, I don't know. I think we're a year off, either from him going to NFL or college. But I think it's coming though. I don't. What do you think, Coach?
I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's a college guy. Because this would have been the year for him to be a college guy. You know what I mean? South Florida, he lives there in Tampa. That would have been a perfect fit. But I don't know if the NFL is ready to bring him back into the fold after all that stuff that happened.
Lawsuit's still going. He's like making progress too. Like yeah. So and Bundy's also right about the Titans. The Titans ownership is an absolute mess. She fired Vrabel, and that's a whole thing. Shout out to the Tennessee Titans. But no, Coach, yeah. I don't know. I moved to Tennessee. I got 1 year to watch Vrabel, and I went out to a couple games, and then they fired him, and I was like, why? And then now, I mean, we'll see what they do going forward, but neither that ain't gonna matter. I'm getting the fuck out of Tennessee. Let's Coach, let's move to college though. I want to ask you about a bowl game that happened last night, Alamo Bowl, USC TCU. So this went in overtime, this game, USC TCU. This was actually a pretty good game. And 3rd and 20, USC's up and about to seemingly close it out for a win in overtime. I thought they had a chance to win. And then TCU breaks up the sideline, scores, and that's ball game. Walk-off touchdown. Coach, the reason why I'm bringing this up is LenDale White, USC alum, legend, he went off on Twitter about this. I'm just going to read all these tweets. This is after USC lost. He said, we just lost a weak-ass TCU, so that means we're sorry as fuck. And he also said, I truly don't even know why I'm mad. I know better. LOL, my fault. 20 years of fucking bullshit. Maybe one day I could see them in the playoffs. Maybe one day I don't look like no time. One day it don't look like no time soon. And I hope I can eat my words. Do y'all ever practice tackling ever, or is it always about offense? Because on the final play, that walk-off touchdown, oh, Coach, I wish I could show it without getting flagged on YouTube. Oh my gosh, missed tackles galore, and I don't know. Laken Riley's getting called out. And he also says, makes sense. A shitty team couldn't win a shitty bowl. So. Yeah, well, he went off, to say the least. But Coach, going back to Laken Riley. Laken Riley's 35-18, his first 53 games at USC. Same with Clay Helton. Clay Helton was obviously, So, Coach, what do you got to say? I don't know if you got a chance to catch this bowl game last night or not, Alamo Bowl, but another epic collapse for SC and Laken Riley.
Yeah, I caught a little bit of it, Bailey. I don't know. Let me ask you this, man. How do you feel about the former players?
Shout out to Bundy. I appreciate you, Mike. What up?
How do you feel about the former players repping for their alma maters? I mean, I personally, I love it. It tells me that they're engaged. I don't know if we'll ever see it again with the way things are going with the transfer portal and things like that. But to see guys like LenDale, to see Cam Newton, see all those guys paying attention to their schools, man. I love it, man. What are your thoughts on that?
I think with the fading traditions in college sports, and college football specifically. Like when you see guys like LenDale, like you mentioned Cam, like I work with Matt, bleeds black and gold in Colorado. People like that, people who embrace their school and are like proud and like talk about it publicly, and people in the media who embrace, their school. I think that's great. And I think that we need more of that, because I think traditions and the portal and it's not the same. So if you can maintain some sort of something like that, I'm with it. With that said, I get his frustrations with USC because I don't know. It's I think they've underperformed in Lincoln Riley's time there. I think they've had a lot of opportunities. I think they're in Southern California. I think that Pete Carroll was a monster there when I was a kid, and I don't know they haven't been the same since. So,
yeah,
Coach, what do you got to say about this?
The USC. I feel like USC is just like a Florida State. College football is better when those programs are better. USC's got to have money to be major players in this thing, right? Mm-hmm. And why they're not, I don't know. I mean, to me, that is, transfer portal number one quarterback central should be that. It shouldn't even be up for debate. He should be out to USC, whoever that kid is, right? And whoever he brings out there with him through that, because you can't beat the location, you can't beat the weather, the tradition. Mm-hmm. I'm like you; they should just be a lot better than what they are right now. In this third year of NIL and things like that. I just think they should be a lot better, a lot farther along than they are right now.
Yeah, I know. USC alum are coming out. And Petros Papadakis, he's been going at Lincoln Riley for months now. I've been listening on the radio. He going at Lincoln Riley for months. But I can't imagine alum are very happy with this. Sean Salisbury is actually at this game. It's out in Texas, so he's right there. And I don't know. That's a tough game. That's a tough loss for SD. That's gonna be a lot of heat for Lincoln Riley.
If you're a top kid in California, somebody in your household had the dream of USC and staying in California. Like, I don't understand how that happens. And, bringing the nose into it. You grew up in Florida. It was one of three places that you wanted to go play football. And they did everything they could to keep those kids in the state. And I think that's kind of where USC's kind of gotten away. If you go back and you kind of look at their roster, Bailey, it's not dominated by California kids. You know what I mean? And that's the same thing with Florida State. I think we just kind of got away from what made us who we are. And I think that's kind of where Coach Riley and his staff kind of went wrong. They've gotten away from what made USC USC.
Yeah. Maybe you're right, Coach. Do you think they fire him? I don't know if they fire him. Like, I'll be honest. It might be because of contract and kind of like a Norvell situation with your Florida State Seminoles. That might be. But yeah. He hasn't had the – I don't know. FSU struggled a little bit more.
They gave him a lot of stuff to come to USC, Bailey.
That's true.
I think there was a helicopter in there. There's a house in there sitting up next to the Hollywood sign.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fine print in that thing, man.
Well, nonetheless, USC loses. LenDale White goes off, and boy, oh boy, Lincoln Riley's gonna have some serious heat going into this offseason. Because he dropped the bowl game against Tulane, Willie Fritz, and then they benched Caleb, right? Or Caleb didn't play, and Miller Moss went in there and slung it. And then this, so, oh boy. Coach, let's move forward, though. Let's dive into the college football playoff and get some predictions here. Starting tonight, Miami, Ohio State. Where are you at with this game? Miami's 9.5-point underdogs here, but I'll just come out and say I think Miami gets the upset tonight. I think they take out Ohio State. Give me Miami. I think they're going to run the football. And I think that their defense has enough athletes to compete with Ohio State. As long as they can shut down Jeremiah Smith, I'm really interested to see how they address that. Coach Fred, what are your thoughts?
Oh man, that's huge there, Bailey. That's huge. I like Miami to cover the 9, but I think Ohio State wins this one. But Miami covers the 9.5.
Here's where I'm at with the playoff. I'll just kind of break it down here. I think Miami's taking out Ohio State. Looking up Georgia and Ole Miss, that's going to be a real interesting game that I think Ole Miss has a shot to win. I thought Tulane was taking out Ole Miss, but I was dead wrong about that. Ole Miss is rolling. I got to really see how Georgia plays and how they shut down Ole Miss's offense. That's going to be one to watch. I think Indiana takes care of business against Alabama, potentially pretty handily, but it depends on if Bama can run the football. And Texas Tech and Oregon, that's going to be an interesting battle, but I think Oregon's kind of a sleeping giant here. I'll take the Ducks, but we'll see. Coach, where are you at with these 4 games here?
Oh man, I'm taking like I said, I'm gonna take Ohio State. I think Georgia is going to boat race Ole Miss. I think Alabama and the tradition overwhelms Indiana. Alabama's getting healthy, and again, they're Alabama. This next one, man, I'm really intrigued, man. I think it's a coin toss, but I really like what Texas Tech is doing, man. I really like what they're doing. They paid a lot of money for that team, so you know what I mean. I like them, but I wouldn't be surprised if Oregon just does what the Ducks do, go real fast and win by a lot of points. But I think Texas Tech, I think they win that one.
I'm gonna be honest. I think Texas Tech's defense is legit. I think their offense could run into some problems. It's against Oregon's defense. I'll be honest. I think Oregon's got some dudes on defense that could really give them problems, and they cannot. One thing with Texas Tech's offense, they cannot come out and start off slow. They got to come out if they're gonna win. They got to come out in like 14-0 type of deal here. With that said, looking at this, the betting. We'll start with the Texas Tech Oregon game. Right now, Oregon's 2.5-point favorites. Tech open as 1.5-point favorites. I lean Oregon here. I lean Oregon here. I think Oregon can win big against Tech, but Coach got Tech in the upset. Going down, Alabama, Indiana. Indiana 7-point favorites against Bama. Coach, you got any input on that?
I like Bama, man. We're gonna take those 7 and run.
Plus 7?
I like Bama. Yeah.
Plus 7. I lean Indiana here. I'll be honest. I think Indiana really. It'll be a higher scoring game. Let me say that. I think it could be like 31-20 type of deal, 31-21 type of deal. But I lean Indiana.
And the points, huh?
Yeah, and the points. Yeah, I think Indiana takes care of them, to be honest. Indiana's got the athletes this year to take out Alabama, in my opinion, and compete with these SEC teams, which they didn't last year. Ole Miss, Georgia. Georgia 6.5-point favorites. You mentioned you think Georgia's going to boat race Ole Miss. I tend to lean. I would take Ole Miss. I'll probably buy the hook, but plus 6.5, plus 7. I don't know. Something tells me they might be able to keep it close against Georgia, a lower scoring game. But Coach, you're taking Georgia with the points, right?
Yep.
Yeah, boat race there. And then Miami, you mentioned 9.5. I'll take Miami on upset special straight up. Give me Miami over Ohio State. I do like the under though. I think it could be a lower scoring game, but 9.5 definitely. But I think Miami gets it done and finds a way to take out Ohio State.
10-0 right now, Miami, baby.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go. Let's go to the NFL, Coach. We got a lot of big-time matchups here, a lot of playoff implications here. Let's start with Carolina, Tampa Bay here, Coach. Where are you at with this game?
Baker's got to find a way.
Has to find a way, but I think the Panthers are the better team here. But
Tampa's
this is a tough one to pick, Coach. I can see a scenario where the Bucs win, but Bucs fans are super upset and still say they want Bulls fired and whatnot. I mean, they're booing them off the field after they lost. They've had a kind of a rough second half of this season here. Carolina comes off a loss against the Seahawks, but I mean they're rolling. They're playing a lot better than they have. So shout out to Dave Canales. What are your thoughts, Coach?
I mean, you hit everything on the head there, but I got to believe that Baker and the Bucs get it right at home. Right to ship. win the game to get into the playoffs. So I'm gonna go with the home team in this one here, Tampa.
Now, if Baker and the Bucks lose, and I don't know in what fashion, what is Todd Bowles' future in Tampa Bay if they lose?
It's getting real hot. It's getting real hot. Now, should it be? No, it shouldn't. But it's getting real hot. And everything's knee jerk. So I wouldn't be surprised that if they lose, in what type of fashion they lose the game, I could see it being an issue, for him to where, he gets called in and let go. I could see that happening.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one to me. I got to see how the Bucks run football. If Baker comes out sloppy, the Panthers got some. I mean, T-Mac, man, they got some dudes. Give me the Bucks. Give me the Bucks to get it done, get in the playoffs. If not, Bulls is gone. Now, Seahawks Niners coach Fred, where are you at with this? Because this is I don't know where I'm at with this. I've leaned Seattle here, but it would not shock me if the Niners, who are somehow winning with despite injuries and no wide receivers, etc. I mean, Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy, they found a way to win. McCaffrey, leaning with McCaffrey, obviously. It's a pick 'em, essentially. Seahawks 1.5-point favorites. Where are you at with this?
Man, 49ers are playing probably the best football of anybody in the NFL right now. I think they're getting hot at the right time. They've gotten hot without their superstars. So to me, that's a plus. But again, Seattle's just finding ways to win games, man. They're just finding ways to win games, baby.
I'm in Seattle. I'm a fan. God, Sam Darnold scares the shit out of me though sometimes. Coach, he's starting to look like the old Sam Darnold at times. I'll be honest. I mean, we saw last week in Carolina where I'm like, fuck. I get he was there and some of those guys are familiar with him, but golly, I worry if that's going to be the Seahawks' downfall. With that said, give me the Seahawks in this one. I think Seahawks maintain it. And by the way, if the Seahawks get to the NFC Championship, they're going to the Super Bowl. They don't lose. They don't lose in the NFC Championship, but they got to get there. I think it's going to be a tough road for them, but I think they get it done against San Fran and Santa Clara. Coach, who you got?
I like Seattle, man. They know what's at stake here. If they get home field throughout, they're going to be a tough out for anybody to go up there and win. So I like Seattle to find a way once again to get it done.
Now, we talked about Baltimore and Pittsburgh. I lean Pittsburgh. It sounds like you lean Baltimore no matter who's the quarterback. Even with Huntley, which is insane to me, a backup quarterback, I think Cam Hayward, if he gets through, will take him out. Then there's no doubt about it. Oh, shit. Shout out to Mike Bundy. Mike Bundy, Happy New Year to you as well, my man. I appreciate you, man. You've been a loyal supporter and giving out memberships and shit. Shout out to Mike Bundy. Mike Bundy, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, bro. I lean Pittsburgh. I don't know how you can lean into Baltimore with Tyler Huntley. Like I mentioned, I think that's insane. But Lamar's he's at practice this week, so y'all might get Lamar back.
I think if you had my guy Big CA King on here, he'd agree with me as well.
CAA King.
Yeah, man. You just turn around and hand it to my guy, Derrick Henry, and you protect Tyler Huntley that way. And defensively, they are really, really set for this game because there's no DK. So to me, they can kind of sit and they can, what little run game the Steelers do have, they can add that number 14 to that box to kind of take that away to where he doesn't have to worry about trying to get over the top because there's no DK. The big tight end, Washington, is not going to be there. So I just think it's too much for Pittsburgh to come up with.
Yeah. Here's where I'm at with Baltimore, and I want to hear whether you agree with me or not on this. Do you watch the last time Derrick Henry fumbled?
Yeah.
Do you see what happened to that team and him specifically, but also the team? Like it's like the world ended. Like that's what I'm saying. They're one fumble away from this season being done. So Cam Hayward better not punch out that ball, or TJ Watt better not get to that because they're done. They're cooked because they're done. they're one fumble away from the season being over, and that's why I lean Pittsburgh, to be honest with you. I get Pittsburgh look like shit last week, but I don't know. I'd still lean on them. I think they have what it takes to make a run, even with all the scrutiny they're getting right now. Coach, Bears Lions, where are you at with this one? I can't believe how good the Bears are this season. Good Lord. Ben Johnson's made that team legit, man. Where are you at with this game? Bears 3-point favorites. I don't even know if it has playoff implications. I think the Lions are eliminated from playoffs, right?
Yeah, they're done.
Yeah.
You can't believe how good the Bears are, and I can't believe how bad the Lions are. You know what I mean? This team, and I know, injuries happen, but you remember now at the beginning of the year, this is one of the teams that was supposed to be challenging for the Super Bowl. And they've looked bad, at times. And last week, their playoff lives are on the line, and they put out one of those performances that was horrible, So it'll be interesting to see how many of the Chicago Bears actually play, because they're already in. I don't think they have anything else to play for, so to speak. And then, they were dealing with a team illness and some other stuff. So it'd be interesting to see how many of those guys actually play. But Ben Johnson's weathered the storm. I think they just go ahead and they finish business and continue to ride the momentum on into the playoffs. So I got Chicago.
Yeah, I lean Chicago unless Detroit, I don't know. They got to finish off their season, right? Or Dan Campbell's going to start getting heat because he took over play calling or whatever. He's getting a lot of heat right now. What about your Commanders, Coach? Any shot they take out the Eagles this weekend?
No.
No shot. I got the shirt on. No.
Nah. There's always a chance. There's always a chance. There's always a chance.
The spread's kind of close. It's only 3.5 points.
And I don't know how many of the Eagles are going to play. They're already in as well. But there's always a chance. But I don't know who's going to play quarterback. They don't know who's going to play quarterback. So but we need to look like something to finish out the year. If you're asking me. So I expect them, come out and put out a heck of an effort, but I just don't know if we can pull that off in there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think there's a shot. Who's y'all? Is it Mariota? Or he's hurt?
Yeah, I don't know who's going to play. Don't know if he's back.
It's Josh Johnson.
Yeah, don't know if he's back.
USC, San
don't
Diego,
know if
right?
Josh Johnson's going to play. Yeah, we don't know who's playing quarterback right now.
Or did he get hurt too?
No, he finished. He finished on his feet versus the Cowboys Christmas Day. He finished on his feet. He actually didn't look bad. And then there was, rumors that CAA King had went and worked out for him as well. So
shit. Yeah, see, that's the thing. It seems like all the 4-year-old quarterbacks seem to be doing well. Josh Johnson, how long has he been in the league?
A minute.
What? Almost 20 years probably. Well, shout out to your Commanders. Good luck against the Eagles. I wouldn't wager on the Eagles if you paid me. Jalen Hurts threw for no yards last week, so in the second half. So I don't trust them.
And they won.
Well,
that's crazy. That is absolutely insane.
I don't trust the Eagles, Coach. I don't know why people are really high on the Eagles. I would not, but maybe in the playoffs, Jalen Hurts seems to always figure it out, though. Like, he seems to be a different player in the playoffs at times. So I guess I'm not going to.
That's a team in trouble, Bailey. You're right. That's a team in trouble. I don't care what anybody says. They are in trouble.
A team in trouble for sure. Where you at with the Bills?
That's another team that's in trouble. That's another team that's in trouble, Bailey. I don't care what anybody says. That they are in trouble.
They need to get Dayball back. That's what they need.
Why else would you go for 2 at home with a chance to tie it up and just go to overtime and, outlast the Eagles or whatever? You know what I mean? That's a team that's kind of I put them in Tampa in the same category. They, even though they're locked into the playoffs, they've got to win, or I think it starts to get really, really hot for McDermott as well.
Yeah, I think they should bring Dayball back, but that's a personal thing. They take on Matt's New York Jets. I'm guessing they're going to boat race them. What's up with the Jets and Aaron Glenn, coach? We've talked about Aaron Glenn. He's got to be fired, right?
I don't
I don't know.
understand it.
It's a
I
bad
don't
look.
understand it. Bailey, I don't understand it because there's no Reggie Bush. There's no name the hottest defensive player in the last 10 years. There's none of those that will be in the draft, this year. So I don't know what the tank is about. Who are you tanking for? But it's obvious that that's what they're doing. And I don't understand what it is. Maybe you're tanking for that number one. You're gonna sell it to the highest bidder and get as many players back in that process. Maybe that's what it is, but I don't understand it at all.
Oh, I don't get it either, coach. Yeah, I don't get it at all. Shout out to Mike Bundy in the chat. Appreciate you. All the people in the chat. Lance Pop, all the people hope you guys have a happy new year and whatnot. Appreciate you guys
Yes.
tuning in. Man, coach, you got a Common Man podcast? I think you went live a few days ago, no?
Mm-hmm.
Man, so all those
We
watching,
did.
go check out Coach Fred on the Common Man podcast, man. He does a hell of a job here, and I know he's got a lot cracking headed into the new year. I'm looking at these spreads, coach. These games are terrible. I'll be honest. This is gonna be a lot of
Week
blood.
18.
Yeah, it's horrible, man.
Week 18.
And Tennessee played a bowl game last night. There's some more. There's actually bowl games starting right now. The ReliQuest Bowl, Vandy, Iowa. I would guess Diego Pavia, they're about to ball out if he's playing in it. I didn't hear anything that he's sitting out, but who knows?
He's got to play all that he's been through here lately.
Does he make it on a roster? Does he become? You think he's an NFL quarterback at all?
I think somebody takes him, Bailey, and puts it into a project. Taysom, what's the kid in New Orleans?
Taysom Hill.
Yeah, puts him into some frame like that because he's not he's not very tall, which I guess you don't have to be these days to play quarterback. But I just I think at this point somebody does take him, make him a project, see what happens, and kind of goes from there. But I don't think he's a day one, day two guy. But again, as our friend JB would say, what do I know? But I don't see him as a day one, day two guy.
Oh no, I don't. I would be shocked if he's drafted. I'll be honest. Like based on where other quarterbacks have gone, I'd be shocked if he's drafted. I mean, he's going to be somebody's backup, I think, for a long time though.
I actually like him.
I like him too. I'm a big fan of his. Shit, I don't get like people. He's gotten a lot of shit, and then people are calling him Manziel. He's scrappy. Like he fought his way up to JUCO, beat Hugh Freeze's ass when he was at New Mexico. I was like, this kid's a dude. And then he obviously goes to Vanderbilt and does all that the last 2 years and stuff. And
that's what I was gonna say, man.
He puts you in the mind of
a Johnny Manziel. The only thing he didn't have was the signature move. Johnny had the money at the end of a big play. He didn't have that, but I actually like him. I like his moxie. I just wish he was a better player, so to speak, when you talk about playing quarterback.
What does Iowa State do? I don't know if you've seen. They've had a mass exodus since Matt Campbell went to Penn State. I think who's it taking over? Jimmy Rogers there. They're coming from Wazoo, right? And they had that done pretty quick when Matt Campbell left. What does Iowa State do after their mass exodus?
I don't know. I don't know what they do. I don't know what James Madison does. Or
North Texas is having a bunch of people lead too. Like
that quarterback led the country, and I get it.
Maker, yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I do. I get it. But my message to him is like, bro, okay, so where are you going? None of these people before saw anything in you. And now you just, you did numbers. I get it. Now you're going to the highest bidder. What happens when you get there and it doesn't work?
Right. Yeah, that's a good question, Coach. And What's the fix to this? Because again, do you think they're gonna move the calendar? Do you think they're gonna do anything about this? You just think this is just gonna keep going?
I think it's gonna keep going. And I think what it's gonna be to have it stop, baby, and we should be right about there here in the next year, is
I
when
appreciate you, Lance. Shout out
somebody.
to you, by the way. Sorry, Coach. I
Oh no,
appreciate
you're
you,
good.
Lance. Thank you,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
man.
Yes, sir. But I think it's going to be one of those 30 for 30s that's going to make the NCAA have to put a stop and look at it. Is when one of these kids are in front of a federal judge because they haven't paid taxes on this money. They've gotten in serious trouble with the government. I think that's the only way this is going to stop. And then it's going to take one big name donor to say, you know what, enough is enough. Because at the end of the day, Bailey Price Media funnels all this money into said university. What are you getting back? You know what I mean?
That is a real question when it comes like these certain donors and people who donate money. Like, I mean, shit, you heard Troy Aikman sound off about it, right? It's like he ain't doing it no more. He donated and Dante Moore left in a year. So it's just, that's the nature of the beast.
So
Lucy, why are you not like Diego Pavi? Diego Pavi is the man. I get everyone thinks he's an arrogant piece of shit. I'm telling you, that dude's scrappy. He's a scrappy cat. No, but the ultimate question is, what are they getting back? I mean, I don't think nothing changes. I just think they're going to make the playoff bigger.
they can't do that, Bailey. I mean,
it's coming, Coach. 16 is coming next year. Next year, the year after, they're going to make it. Like,
I know, but I hope not, Bailey. But I hope not.
Now I got to ask you about Fernando Mendoza. Since I've talked about Pavia, where are you at with him? They take on Alabama today. I think they're going to boat race him. Do you think he's a top pick? Do you think he's a number one overall pick right now? That's sitting at the Raiders.
I think this is a big game for him to prove that. He's a Florida guy, Florida kid, so I'm always riding with the Florida guys. But this is I think this is a big time showcase for him to stamp that. Because somebody's going to take him in the first round. It's just a matter of where. And I think if he goes out and he produces in these playoffs, I think he does cement that. Now, does he want to go to Vegas? I don't know about that, but you know what I mean? So I think he'll be in that first round, just not sure where.
Yeah, he's probably going top 10, or if he falls out, it's gonna be like that Kenny Pickett draft. That's what it's gonna look like. But I think he's a little bit better of a player than him.
I think so. I would say so. But let me ask you this: do the Raiders take a quarterback number one? They need so much more than that. You know what I mean?
I think I'd take like a Ruben Bain or something, like a big like D tackle from Ruben Bain from Miami 4.
Yeah.
Like, I would take someone like him, or I don't know. They need offensive line help desperately.
So we
they
don't.
need a lot of shit. I don't know, Coach. They need a mass roster exodus and change. I don't know.
They don't need a quarterback.
Yeah. But I could see him taking it, though. I don't know. It depends on whether Pete Carroll is going to want to, at his age, get a rookie quarterback and rock with him. I still don't see it.
Him doing
I said it last offseason. I don't see it. I still don't either.
I don't see him doing that.
Yeah. Well, man, Coach, it's been a good show. I can't wait to see Miami kick the shit out of Ohio State tonight. We'll see.
I'll be texting you.
Yeah. Hit me up, Coach. I'll definitely be texting you and stuff. But it's gonna be a hell of a next 2 days here of football here. College football playoff is going down. Everybody who's tuned in, I appreciate you tuning in. Drop your predictions in the chat below here. Man, I appreciate you guys tuning in here. I'm arrogant, man. Get the hell out of here. I appreciate you tuning in, Lance. I'm just talking ball. I got Miami. I think Ole Miss makes it a game, but I think Georgia gets them on a field goal. I think Indiana boat races Bama, and I think Oregon takes care of business against Tech. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, don't talk about Colorado, though. I got no comment on them. Matt and I will be back next week.
What up, Matt?
The transfer portal opens on the 2nd. Oh, Lord. There's gonna be so many people leaving. That's gonna be mass exodus. There already has been.
What up, Matt?
Yeah, appreciate you, Matt. But man, I appreciate you guys all tuning in. Shout out to Mike Bundy, Lucy, Jacob, Lance, all you guys in the chat. I hope you guys have a great new year, and I hope you guys are safe and whatnot. Everybody stay safe, be safe. And Coach Fred, I appreciate you. Everybody go watch Coach Fred on the Common Man podcast. He does a hell of a job with that. Coach, I hope you have a good, happy, and safe New Year's, my man.
Definitely, man. You know, I don't go out to the ball drop, man. I leave that to you guys. I just sit in the crib. And,
you ain't gonna catch me out there, dog. I'm trying to stay out the way.
That's all, man.
But Coach, I appreciate you, and we'll love to have you back on next week. We'll be rocking and rolling in the new year.
Let's go, B.
Yes, sir. See you soon. Shout out to Coach Leroy Frederick for joining the show, bringing the heat here on this New Year's Eve show. I appreciate you all tuning in. Even Joe Accord saying, cut JJ McCarthy. Joe, you gotta play the long game with that. I think I'm still in on McCarthy. I'm on Sean King's train on this. I think he's got the intangibles. Man, it's gonna take some time with him. Keep rocking with him though. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I really hope you guys have a good and safe New Year's. Go tune in to Unpaid with Sean Salisbury. I'll be producing that show here in about 50 minutes or so. So go check out that, and we'll be live here in the new year. Be safe and enjoy the day. Peace.
Thank you.